Hey everyone.
Welcome back to our wonderful podcast. Oh,
we're never
right.
in a row. For the love of real estate.
Yeah. It's like our gimmick now.
We have some guests people have been waiting for, it seems like today. Some great guests, Jackelyn and Andrew Lee. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Hi.
I think we need to start this because we found this out this morning.
Oh shit.
We had no. wait. So a little surprise here.
So today's Andrew's birthday.
Yeah. What do you got?
There it is.
Oh.
All right.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Plastic
Happy
so it
birthday.
can burn. Yeah. So our first
Thank
birthday
you.
guest.
Our first birthday guest,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. So
Happy
Make-
birthday,
Make my
Andrew.
wish here.
Yeah.
Aubrey
go
made
ahead.
that from scratch
This is a
this
short
Did you?
process.
No. God, no. You think you could make that?
No, God.
I couldn't even.
It's on a Myers bag.
Yeah.
So,
Well, happy birthday, Andrew.
yeah. We don't have time for the birthday song, but thanks for being our first birthday guest.
So
Thank you.
All right.
now it's just going to sit melting until, here, I'll take it.
I'll put it in the back right here, just so
Okay.
that everyone
Got it.
knows. So if anyone tunes in later, like, what the hell is that
Don't
about?
forget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring it to your daughter. There you
I
go.
have the top
Julie
over here
that.
too, so if you want to take
Are
it.
you guys doing anything fun today besides the podcast?
Besides,
Well-
best part of the day. Here, move up a
only
little bit
thing
so
I
we make sure
planned
you're in this
today.
thing.
Is your fun
Only thing I
thing?
planned.
Yeah.
I don't know. Looking at some potential properties this afternoon.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Like, you know.
For you or
know,
clients?
I think both.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
we know that. We know
Nice.
that boat.
So they're with LPG. You started LPG. What does LPG stand for?
Well, go ahead. You can. It's evolved.
It's evolved, but today it stands for Lily Property Group.
Okay.
Lily Property Group. Is that your middle name?
No, Lily.
That's
Our
our
daughter.
daughter.
Oh, got it. I love that. Okay.
Very cool. So, they were with Martin Signature. We'll dive into that. But you decided to go out on your own because it was best for you. And you're not only real estate, you're property management, and you do for yourself and for others.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
talk a little bit about maybe how you got into the game and why you made the choice to go on your own, and then what it is you do for your clients. And that was a lot. So,
Sure.
we'll dive into it. Just tell your whole
It-
story.
it is a lot.
From start when you were born.
Yeah. He was
Today.
born today, 35 years
Going
ago.
Way back in the olden days.
Oh, boy.
Back when properties cost $30,000.
Yeah.
You're not lying.
Yeah. The old days. Yeah.
They used to.
Yeah.
They used
Yeah.
to. The real estate sales and agent stuff started back in 2020. Before that, I think we've been in Toledo real estate for 10 years, starting out buying properties for ourselves.
Yeah.
Most of the time they needed a lot of work and rehab, and we liked the transformation of that. And we would fix them up and run them out. And then Jackelyn has been excellent on social media with telling people what we do.
Yeah.
That's my wife. Yeah.
For sure.
Everyone's for.
Yeah.
Joining KW literally has opened my mind up to Facebook because I never touched it for
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
and
You
being in
have
commercial.
to, even if you hate it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
And I hate
yeah,
it.
it's the best way to
Yeah.
spread the word, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think we're probably pretty
I think most guys are. I think.
Unless like
Cringe
younger
every time.
dudes are on.
Well, they
Social
were
media
born
quite a bit,
into it.
but-
Like you had to sign me on to Facebook, and we're
I
still.
made you a MySpace page. That's
Yeah,
how. Did you guys have MySpace, or was
You
that?
guys
I
could
did.
have a
Did you have
joint
MySpace?
Facebook page.
Oh my God,
if you
no!
want.
One of the couples that has the N in the middle, like it's.
Yeah, Aubrey
Aubrey and Megan. Yeah.
My parents have that, and I'm like,
Oh,
who's
no,
typing?
no.
And then they'll comment to each other on it, and I'm like, somebody take the phone away. It's like you guys are commenting to each other.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
haven't
gosh.
noticed that, but
You
that's funny.
haven't?
Gosh, but I have seen people do that. It's
Yeah.
like, and my type of how I write stuff is wildly different to her. So you
Sure.
blatantly tell who was writing. Mine has like misspelling and like ... all over the place, and yours is probably a little bit more formal. More, well, at least you know spell. I don't
Sure.
spell for crap. Thank God for autocorrect.
Yeah.
So,
What's
but
there
you
for?
were with Liberty.
Well, no.
oh,
We met
no.
at BNI at least 10 years ago, right?
That's where we met.
I swear we met at
Could
BNI.
have.
No?
Yeah, I'm still in BNI.
It was downtown Toledo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, downtown Toledo BNI. I
Huh.
swear. And you were doing insurance.
Mhm.
And you tried to get us to do insurance with the properties back then. I swear it had to have been like probably 8-10
Could've been.
years ago, right? How long have you been a part of that, BNI?
I think it's been 8 or 9 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, still same chapter.
Who's your realtor that's there now?
Josh Bowen.
Oh, Josh Bona. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
Good
nice
guy.
guy. Wonder if he'd be on the podcast.
Sure, actually,
Yeah.
He'd be a good one.
because he does
Yeah.
property management as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
has a podcast actually.
Well, we'll be on
Does
his
he?
then.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Joint
reciprocate.
Yeah, right,
Joint
exactly.
But you were always like a top producer and a go-to person that would actually respond in the real estate or in the insurance industry. And then you basically ripped the Band-Aid off and went full-time only a couple of years ago, right? Doing
Yeah, so
real
it'll be a
estate.
year in April. So
How was that transition?
I mean, it was scary,
Was
but
it?
like
Yeah.
I definitely just needed to rip the Band-Aid off and just.
Same
So
freaking boat.
Do you still,
Yeah.
so you gave up your insurance license?
Technically, I still have it.
You do?
And I might keep like the CE up just because
Yeah.
it's expensive to get relicensed, but I'm not actively doing it. I mean, people ask me questions all the time, and I guess legally I can answer.
Right.
It's funny because we're in the same boat. Like I was at Louisville Title
Yeah.
for 8 years and then ripped the Band-Aid 2 years ago, basically.
Yeah.
And essentially, the amount of title questions I get still from friends and stuff like that, and I'm happy to answer them. But I'm like,
Yeah.
also, would you like to talk about real estate? Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I get
true.
that completely.
True.
So backing up. So you were in the biz. You decided to rip the
Renovating and
Band-Aid,
renting.
and then when did you launch LPG? That was
To the public, it was around 2021.
okay.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had moved down to Florida for a while for like 8 months
Yeah.
once things shut down here in
Yes.
2020.
Yeah, I remember
Okay.
that. Yeah.
And at the time we had been doing stuff ourselves, finding properties, buying them,
Yeah.
renovating them, renting them. And she was posting what we were doing online, and people just continually kept asking.
Like, do you have anything? Do you have anything?
Or
Yeah.
just
Or
like,
would
can
you
you
help
help?
us?
Yeah, can you help
Yeah.
us? Like,
Would you help us?
I don't like my property manager. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, or can you send me your lease agreement, or hey, who's your contractor, or
Right.
so it
Yeah.
just was
Get that all
Kind
the
of
time.
morphed.
kind of a light bulb moment. Like
There's a need
he
for
knew,
this.
yeah, he knew he wanted to quit his what he was doing full time. He was doing healthcare IT, so
Wow.
it was
We
just
have one
kind
of
of
those here.
a
Well, no.
moment where it was like I have to get my real estate license. So that was just the.
So Andrew got licensed first.
Mhm.
Got it.
But then there's another step where to be able to manage for other people,
Yeah.
you have to be a licensed broker.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. So guys, good tip number one in Ohio, if you want to do property management, you either have to be full owner, part owner, some percentage of owner, right, in the property. You have to have a vested interest. Or you have to be running through a licensed brokerage. So
Who
basically,
wants to take on that risk?
Correct.
Yeah.
They have to agree to do that.
Correct.
There's
So-
a lot of other things that they have to do
so and
to
our
launch a PM business.
yes,
Yeah.
and in Columbus, that when you go hear basically the Ohio division, right, of real estate speak, they say that one of always the number one license violation is not running property management through a brokerage.
And it's really
It's
expensive.
common
Yeah.
in Toledo too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Very
I
true.
feel like,
Property
yeah.
managers.
And
Like
I
I
think
hear
people
about it a
just
lot.
don't know it. Like I think Florida's actually one of the states that you don't have to,
Really?
believe it or not, that you don't have to run.
Light bulb. Tip
Yeah.
number 2.
But no.
LPG 2.0.
Yeah.
But, yeah, very interesting.
Oh no, I have to manage stuff in Florida where it's sunny and
What
beautiful.
trip?
Oh,
I
yeah,
know.
it's a write-off.
That's why I said just wait until Lily's in school. You guys are gonna be like us, where you
Yeah.
want to go but you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably one of the future goals is to be down in Florida.
Yeah.
But
Full time,
maybe.
Yeah.
not full time.
No?
It's too hot.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
It's
I
too
love it.
like.
Is it
going
breezy?
through-
See, Fort Myers is always breezy. It's never like
It is,
stifling.
but it's. I mean, if you have to go to the grocery store, like it's just hot.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
wear,
Instacart
everyone wears
it.
a bathing suit just
That's
to like.
true.
I mean,
Yeah.
imagine working on property. So like,
I know.
or-
I always want, like, I would love to
Become a
do.
maintenance man.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Have you guys renovated in Florida at all?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, and I mean, with this last hurricane, like some of our favorite streets and houses, like
Yeah.
were hurricane damaged.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, we're like,
Man,
You
that
know,
could've
can we
been an
send a-
opportunity.
opportunity, but
people
there's
jump down there. They jump down there and start buying immediately, and
Yeah.
you have to go through all these loopholes
Yeah.
to develop and stuff. But you're sitting on a gold mine eventually.
well, and I don't know what exactly the laws are, but a lot of the houses were destroyed were 1 story, and I
Yeah.
think you
You
can't,
have to
if they're,
Now you have to build it
like
above the-
build it
Yes.
up or just totally
Same
tear
in
it
above
down.
the
fires.
surge line, which is like
Yeah.
12 and a half feet.
So you know what, and I don't think I've mentioned this on a podcast, but so we got hit by Ian. I remember crying to you on the phone
I
in
remember.
2022,
I was driving
calling you
to
about
Columbus,
insurance, crying, being like, "What do we do? We got hit by. We know we got hit by the hurricane. We haven't been
I
there."
felt so bad.
But,
I just wanted to help, but
Across the street from us, so we like built 9.5 foot above the floodplain, still got water. Across the street from us, like everybody got leveled, right? Like it was up to the ceilings of all of them. So it's always been a 55 and up community. And they are building these, like, it's basically like a manufactured home, 12 foot up on stilts, but, and you park underneath, okay? It's
Yeah.
like open parking underneath, that's your
Okay.
carport. But you have to climb 12 to 15 steps every time. And they kept it deeded 55 and up. And I'm like, what a small buyer pool. Like,
Yeah.
who
gotta get a
agreed to
chair, you
this?
have to get a chairlift.
Because
right,
how
some of them are trying to
long?
put in like
Elevator.
elevators or grocery lifts, like almost like a smaller lift that goes up and brings their groceries. Because it's some steps.
I mean,
It
what
must
is
be
that?
expensive though. I mean, just one
They
thing
are
to buy a
expensive.
house
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
to like have to renovate it
But
to do
I'm
that.
like, why
That's
why
real.
still have it 55 and up? Because how long are these people going to be able to do their steps? 10 years, 15 years at the most? Like they're not going to wait.
30 and I
I
don't
mean,
want to do
yeah,
stuff.
I wish I had a
Yeah.
ranch,
No
right?
joke.
I know we had a condo down there and we had to walk up steps
Yeah,
all
we
the
had a
time with
second-
groceries. Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
We were like in our 30s. So that was
Yeah,
stupid,
second, yeah, that
Boy,
would
we
be.
really
We
digressed here.
renovated that, and we Florida.
Yeah, right.
Changed to a separate podcast
Yeah,
about,
just about
Florida.
Florida,
Like,
yeah.
what are our Florida goals?
Florida real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would love to do. Oh my gosh, it would be my dream to do like a little beachy cottage there. Oh my gosh, it would be my dream.
I mean, I would love to. Yeah, I would love
Yes.
to renovate. And it's so fun because some of the things that work in Florida, like you'll drive past a pink house with an
Yeah.
old
Yes,
store,
love.
and you're like, oh my gosh, that is so cute.
Yes.
But if you had that in the middle of Toledo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
people would be like,
It stands
what,
out.
what are you doing?
Yeah,
Right? Like,
yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it just wouldn't.
Very Key West.
We'll start
right.
something. We need to start something. Make it more beachy. We're right by the lake. Come
You're
on.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
Someone's
love
gotta
to do
start
that. We can do it
I
together.
love coastal vibes.
I do
Same
too.
word, though.
Same.
Like it's
Same.
Yeah,
best.
number one.
Even seeing like mixed colors, like the bright pink, the bright green, the teal.
Yeah,
the
we
blue.
just did that at a house that
Like,
was like,
If you saw that here on a gray day, it'd probably make you feel a little bit better because
Yeah,
all we stare
a little
at is
happier.
typically like grayish houses.
I'm always like, how can I incorporate my shells into into the design?
yeah.
I digress.
Yes. All right. Let's jump into it. So you were talking about getting started, separating 2021. Been doing this for a while. Things are going great. I'm assuming you're loving the transition. I'm sure there's the ups and downs of starting anything. I guess maybe talk about that. We just dived into that. Knowing about like you have to get that license. What are some of the other things that you should know starting off as a property manager in Ohio?
Something really important is knowing tenant laws,
For housing or
what kind of duties and responsibilities you have to owners
Yeah.
is extremely important. Knowing those and actually living and following through with them.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, just being a good steward of the properties,
Right.
Do you have?
financially, repairs.
I mean, we have a fiduciary responsibility to our real estate clients. Is it the same standards?
Same
set of
to your
standards
property
as
management client,
the-
I'm assuming,
for
yeah.
Property management.
But
Maybe.
then
It's
It's even a
also
step
as
further
Is it?
yeah,
because being the property manager, you have to make sure that you oversee the day to day,
Yeah.
Right.
and also you're not just considering, the client, the owner, but you also have a client as a tenant.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And
there has to be a balance between the two,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
tough.
sometimes very challenging.
Oh, I can see that for sure.
From what I've heard, it's more challenging with the owner who's requiring you to do stuff that you're like, I can't legally do that. Like, I've heard a lot of horror stories about that.
I mean, that doesn't come up as often
Okay.
as making repairs that are needed.
Yeah.
That's the
Where-
challenging part.
Basically saying, here's how much it's going to cost, and them saying, like, I don't want to do that, or I want to shortcut it kind of thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the standards we set for all of our team, we do things right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we don't waver from those
Right.
standards, because I really care about the name
Right.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
and what our brand stands for.
Yeah.
Sure.
So sometimes you gotta, if that's the case, you gotta have a tough conversation that maybe the owner doesn't align with what we want to do, and
Right.
Yes,
it's fair to part ways.
Yeah.
Well, something that's really cool that you guys do that basically nobody else does is you'll help essentially an owner acquire a property, right? And then you will help them renovate that property, correct? And then you help them rent that property. and then you help them manage that property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you explain in any more detail like how you usually do that, or kind of like what your day-to-day is like with that?
So
Yeah.
yeah, we have about 45 people that work for us full time. So
Are they
they're
W-2?
Yes.
Oh,
so
interesting.
they're either
Okay, wow.
they're either on our remodeling team, our maintenance team, our property management team, and then we have a leadership team.
Okay.
So you know, all those departments work very closely with each other to make sure that, you know, from the moment that you hand us the keys and hey, I bought this new property, whether it's ready to go or it's you know, it needs a total gut job, like all those departments have to talk to each other. So
Right. Yeah, that is one thing that's very
Fun
true.
fact, our property onboarding checklist is 42 items long. It's a lot that goes into onboarding a property.
Is it like changing locks, getting utilities turned on, trashing out, et cetera, et cetera? Is that-
Vendors,
yeah,
lawn.
got it.
And how's your turnover rate with all being W-2? Is it pretty strong, good, or is it bad? Like, are you going through people quite a bit? This is Toledo, Ohio.
Like around 30 of the staff have been with us for over 6 months. So
Oh, wow,
it's-
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're continually hiring and bringing new people on because just attrition, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
people moving on or something. But
Right.
But we always hear like at any brokerage, 30%, you know, will leave and up 30% will come back in. You know, you have that flexible number there. But I just, we've gone through so many different GCs, general contractors over the year. It's been frustrating. So
and I think that's the problem that, you know, somebody that wants to get involved in real estate and, you know, maybe they can't do it in their market, like Florida, right? Because
Right.
it's too expensive. And so they seek other markets, and Toledo especially, like we're now showing up on all these lists.
yeah.
And
Yes.
Toledo has always been a very popular
Mhm.
place to invest, but
For
now
sure.
even more so, like people find out about it. It's always a number one question. Like I ask when I do a consultation is like, how did you find out about Toledo, Ohio?
Right.
Yeah. Wall
Right.
Street Journal.
Yeah, that's a good
But-
part of the
but,
onboarding for sure.
But yeah, they, you know, that's a problem that we solve is because we can help you with it all, right? A lot of property management companies, they just, you know, they'll take a renovated property, but they can't really take the one that needs the gut job because
Yeah.
that's on
Right.
the owner to figure that out. And so
Right, for
we
sure.
solve that problem.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One thing, we have a lot of out of town investors who call us and, you know, be like, the house is 100,000, will probably go for 125, offer 80. It's like, no, man, it's not gonna go for 80. It's not gonna happen. Already has
First day on the market, right?
And I'm like, immediately I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, we tried. I told you gotta offer list price or higher when we met, and now you're doing exactly.
And I
the
think
opposite.
we've gotten to the point too where we're like, we'll turn down people that we know are just going to contribute to the blight problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You gotta make sure
They're-
they have
Sure.
at least a team or someone around to take care of it. I mean, some places like Mommy you have to have someone live within so many
a
miles.
registered agent.
Right,
Yeah.
within the area. So, but yeah, definitely had a lot of firing of clients over. That's for me for the last.
Do you
2
guys
years.
have that too? If people aren't wanting
Yeah.
to put the work in that it needs or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They read about it.
We don't take on, we ask very good questions in the beginning to make sure that it's gonna be a good fit for us
Yeah.
and then also for them.
Right.
And it's really just setting good expectations
Right.
in the beginning, so that there's no surprises because it's
we
just,
don't
Yeah.
want to onboard somebody and go through all that work and then
Yeah.
they turn out to not align with what we want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, invest. You know, you start dating. You don't want to. You might as well break up sooner than later.
but I think people just
I'm gonna do
sometimes
it right.
have,
Yeah.
you know, misconceptions about what real estate investing is
Yeah.
about. You know, people think that if they buy one property, that's amazing. Like to buy
Yeah.
one property is
First step,
is
yeah.
The first step
more
is
than
huge.
more than most people will do in their entire lifetime.
For sure.
But they think that, you know, they're going to buy that property, it's going to rent for $1,200 a month and they're going to get $1,100 a month every single month
Yeah.
and nothing's going to go wrong,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then it's
Very
you know,
unrealistic.
pump the brakes if something,
Yeah.
you know, tenant calls because the
We-
toilet won't flush, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
And this is from Mike Welsh, who basically told her in the beginning, like, you got to get to 4 as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, 1 is awesome, first step, succeeded, great, but you got to get to 4 because one of that 4 is going to have a problem every single month, right? It's going to cost
What we've
you
noticed
a lot.
too is like you'll get the somebody that's just a regular homeowner and they're like, okay, I want to upgrade, but instead of selling my house, I'm going to rent it. And then that's the only property that they have. And then they end up getting really bent out of shape when it's not maintained or the tenant's not taking care of it because they have an emotional attachment to that
Sure.
property. When we spoke at PIN the other day, which we were talking about before we were doing the podcast, like they were like, what's the main, like what's your, your buy box on these Airbnbs and with stuff that you're putting in them. And I said, don't be emotionally attached to anything.
You
The house, the
definitely can't.
stuff, the guests, don't be emotionally attached because that's what really drains you. So it's like, yeah, it's great. But, and I'm always like, in a market like this, if you're just, you work a full-time job and you don't have any rentals, it's why not just sell your house? So I always tell potential clients, like, take what you could potentially make in rent minus what you would spend in maintenance and repairs in a year versus how much you would get for selling the property now, which makes more sense. And are you okay with doing your own management, which is, you could get calls 24/7.
Yeah.
So
We have definitely seen in the
That's
last like 4 or 5 years more accidental. They call them accidental landlords, right?
Yes.
Because these people are sitting at 2.5%, 3%
They don't
interest,
get
and
rid
I
of
don't,
it.
Exactly.
I don't blame them. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how we've kept a lot of our.
but some people just aren't built for it.
No.
No,
They're not risk
I'd say
And-
90%
And they
actually.
don't want to.
Or one of the partners isn't, like the
Yeah.
husband's in or the wife's
Yeah.
not. I mean, we've said many times, we've seen almost a few divorces because one's super risk adverse and the other one's like, yeah, let's go, and
Yeah.
like they'll just fight. Some people can't look at that $100,000 mortgage and see it as a potential profit down the road. So it's hilarious.
Yeah.
In every podcast, I'm like, you both need to be on the exact same page, otherwise it'll either the property will get sold or you're divorcing. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So you made a great point there about how you have a checklist, like 42 questions or something like that.
Mhm.
Did you get there from trial and error, or did you go something?
Yeah.
How did you figure out what those questions would be?
Yeah, it's just continually improving. You start out, you just got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was all you're like trial and error.
Yeah, I mean, next podcast we'll probably have 52 items on the checklist.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it's
Right.
it's just
For
sit
sure.
around.
For sure.
We definitely.
It's
I don't
just
think
house
it was
into this as much. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not that long in the beginning, but through our own investing journey and then
Yeah.
just
That's great. I mean, it's
making some mistakes is
Yeah.
what I tell everybody is that we're built for investors by investors. Like that's
Yeah.
it's in our blood, right?
well,
Right.
everyone makes mistakes, right? But it's learning from those mistakes that's essential. And you
Yeah.
tracking those and then putting that into a questionnaire form, I think is great. There's a book I always mention. It's The Who, Not the How by Dan Sullivan, and essentially it's fine tuning the way you do things and stuff that you're really good at. Focus on that. But if you're not great on something, find that person who can help you do it, whether it be accounting, insurance, management, and 42 employees. You definitely have to have.
Oh,
the
but
right people.
at one point, like Andrew did all of the flooring and
Yeah.
the accounting and
And I do the flooring well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
talk about making those mistakes,
why-
right? Like
Yeah.
and I did the leasing and the
Yes.
the tenant communication
Yeah.
and all of it and
It's a
you know,
thing. Property management is a thankless job.
Absolutely,
There
it
is
a
no
thankless job.
way for you to make everybody happy. There's
Right.
no way. And I learned that, I was started as a property manager before being in real estate myself, but man, you get some very, very unrealistic people that you cannot please.
Definitely.
And at that point, I hope that you have a good contract that says, look, if any of us have the right to terminate this at any time, if
Yeah, it happens.
our minds are not aligning on it.
But when you do get that thank you or that good Google review, it's
Yeah.
you're on top of the world because I
It
agree.
never
I agree. Like it's
Yeah.
very
So-
thankless.
It's like thanking
You get
the
it from both
IRS.
Yeah.
It's like it's rough. It's rough in property management for sure. But you guys are doing it different. You guys are doing something really cool, and you're also continuing to flip your own properties.
Mhm.
Are you finding your flip properties off market, or where are you getting them from lately?
Yeah, off market.
Really, yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
just are you mailing letters or?
No, got some lead sources from like wholesalers or
Yeah.
Yeah.
or we have a team of excellent agents that are also aligned and
Under LPG,
Yeah,
Yeah.
So-
you know, some of them work directly with investors mostly. So
Or
Yeah.
people that
They-
just don't, they just want a cash offer. They just
Yeah.
want to get rid of
Yeah.
it in 10 days. They don't want to have to deal
Makes
with.
sense.
But you're
Repairs and
not like
everything.
putting out there, I'll buy your house.
Just nothing
Yeah.
more than what I'm putting,
I
putting on
probably get a
Facebook.
dozen
Facebook.
postcards a day being like,
Oh,
we'll
on the
offer on your
rentals,
house.
you guys get that? Yeah,
Oh,
you get
sure.
people wanting to buy your whatever addresses you have all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, well, not a funny story, but so my parents have passed away, and so I just opened probate on Friday of last week,
Yeah.
and my phone is ringing
Yeah.
40 times a day just
Wow.
since Friday.
Wow.
It's weird to be on the other side because I respect what they're doing, right? Some of them are very experienced. You can tell, like, they have a team. Others are like, I talked to some guy on Saturday, and I'm like, is this your first phone call?
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's how I think a lot of these, wholesalers or people are getting off-market properties. Is
Right.
They're buying lists of.
Well, they don't have to be licensed to do it. It's crazy.
I know, that
There
is
has to
crazy.
be-
Yeah.
You can state legislators write a law that you have to be licensed to wholesale because they will blatantly lie and they're not held accountable.
some do.
Well,
but-
you had
No, yeah, he literally a wholesaler called the guy to
the owner.
and then
Yeah.
to list his property, or he's going to buy his property, and then called us to go buy the property after he buys it
Mhm.
and assign it to us. And the client of the wholesaler asked point blank, "Are you a wholesaler?" And the guy said no. And
See,
then
I feel like you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't lie.
you should be able to
about
lie,
that.
but then who?
No.
And
they're
the
not
owner
out
of the-
Texas or New York,
So-
like
The owner of the property
Yeah.
was elderly
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I did not know I've already signed to sell it. And then he had a tenant in the property, and like the wholesaler kept asking us to go over and take pictures, whether we were interested in it or not. He's like, well, while you're there,
Yeah, I'll
can you
pay
take
you
pictures
50
and send?
bucks. We're like,
yeah,
we'll
and
get
it just
50 bucks.
felt
Like,
so slimy. And the owner happened to stop by, and he was like, oh, he had no idea. He didn't know what he signed in their contract or anything. And I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Real
So
tasty.
that's an interesting question. So, or an interesting discussion. So, have you ever gotten a property from a wholesaler that's
Mm.
listed on the market? Because there are
That's starting to happen, I've realized. Yeah.
I don't like that.
And they're listing
I-
it
How's
with
that?
agents. They're listing it with
Correct.
Oh.
So the
agents on
agent
record.
has it
Yeah.
on the MLS, and then a wholesaler gets it under contract, and then they,
Acts like a buyer.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
as a
go-
transferable contract.
and
yeah.
I don't know if the agents just aren't.
Read.
Well, the
Where-
the market's
Sign
tough.
that.
Well,
Desperate
but
for
I
a
mean,
listing.
technically, it doesn't say on the purchase agreement that.
They can assign it.
Well, it does say that, but it's,
It's
Yeah.
something
who's
you
looking for it?
you
You
gotta
know?
Probably make it
sniff
give them a
out.
10-page contract or some bull. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But all right. So tip number 2, obviously, don't buy wholesale.
Beware of wholesale.
beware
I mean,
of
not
wholesale,
necessarily don't buy it if everybody's on board, but it's
Some do it.
Do
Some
your
do it
due
well and do
diligence.
it
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just every wholesaler we've talked to has been real shisty. Like you, immediately out of the gate, I'm like, this is a wholesaler, and I'll ask them,
yeah.
and they're like, no, I work for. It's like you're a freaking wholesaler.
They
Like,
always it'll be like, are you interested in a property in this zip code that's this price and has the ARV of this? And I'm like, in 43608, it's not 200,000. Like
Yeah.
that's it's like you just.
It's getting
I'm like, I
closer.
know you're not from here,
yeah.
but
Right.
yeah, it's crazy. How many flips are you guys doing a year now?
I think our goal this year was 24. So
Flips?
Yes. So we're on.
Oh,
we're on-
single family.
Yeah. So we're on track.
Okay.
Or we'll be close to on track.
You guys have fully embraced that who not the how concept. Like you've essentially built your team to do everything so you can focus on growing your business. I love that.
acquisitions,
We're
yeah.
working on that right now.
Yeah.
But
Well, it is like I was saying. It's always a continual process. Just don't be scared to start somewhere.
mhm.
Yeah,
you're gonna
for
make
sure.
you're gonna make mistakes. We make mistakes every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's you got to learn from it.
for
and,
sure.
And developing our team and continuing developing ourselves too
Yeah.
is working with our team, talking about our process, what's working, what's not.
How
Figure
often
out-
do you sit down with your team to like have these discussions? Is it weekly, daily, weekly? You have
Weekly.
like a Monday or whatever day that you all sit down with leadership
There's a
and
certain day.
yeah.
Yeah.
We meet with leadership weekly as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We meet with them individually weekly.
Yeah.
We also meet with other team members weekly as
And
a
then
Yeah.
they
partner
have
meeting.
they have their own internal
Yeah.
meetings
Yeah.
where we're not
Morning
Yeah.
huddles, morning
involved.
huddles and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's several different businesses under one hat, essentially. Is there a
Yes.
part that you like the most, a part that you like the least?
It's a good question. We've been really discussing that lately
Like soul
as
searching?
we're growing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like every time we go to Florida, we get to do
Wish you
some-
were there more. I know.
Well, yeah, but we get to do some soul searching because it's
Yeah.
it's
You're
quiet,
quiet,
and we
yeah.
get to also see the business. We enjoy being involved in the business, but also we've put these people in leadership and hired them to do something where we don't have to be
Be
involved.
physically
Yeah.
present.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Not involved in everything.
so you
Yeah.
can answer that question. Where do you want this to go from here?
Yeah, what do you like
With
the
having
most?
with having multiple departments, there's different handoff points
Yeah.
between estimating and sales to project management to property management handoffs.
Yeah.
Really been focusing a lot on the handoffs
Mm-hmm.
and the communication that's occurring between the handoff, and is the communication right?
Yeah.
Is the information that we're passing the right, or do we need to add something, remove something? I really like the remodeling
Yeah.
aspect
Us-
and
me
making
too.
that
The
Flipping or
before and
remodel?
afters. You guys do before and afters like us, which I always look at yours, and I love even looking at our own. But I'm like, oh my gosh, this has come so far.
Yeah, and again, we do it for just like you of course you don't do it for free,
Yeah.
but just the gratification of it, of being able to
She loves that.
yeah, I
I
mean
love
the like
like the money.
transforming the worst house on the best street, like
Yeah.
your neighbors thank you, the city thanks you,
Yes.
like
Yes. For sure.
I mean, it's
Sometimes.
yeah, right, well
Yeah.
but it's very rewarding, and then getting to hand over the keys to somebody that is,
Yeah.
Well,
is
the
very
type of
thankful.
flips we're doing are usually first-time home buyers. These aren't like the
Yeah.
most expensive houses
Sure.
out there, so that's kind of cool to see.
You guys ever tried an expensive flip?
Yes.
failed.
Twice failed. Both failed.
What was
Yeah.
that
What
one?
went wrong?
Remember
River
Road.
Road and
Well, that's right.
Westmoreland.
Too
Okay.
long, not too expensive, not enough profit.
River
Okay.
Road was that was terrible, and it took like 9 months, and it was the coolest house. That was bad, and it was just too
And the driveways
too
were
small of a
touching, and
buyer
they were
pool.
like almost overlapping, so
Yeah.
the neighbors were a real pain in
So
the butt,
like we'll go. So this is what we talked about in PIN, but like what we buy is stuff that can work in any type of a scenario. So instead
Yes.
of buying like River Road didn't work because
Couldn't rent it.
very small buyer pool, couldn't rent it. Nobody would want it as an Airbnb. Nobody could feel like they could rent it for enough money if they bought it from us. So it only worked for somebody that essentially wanted to own or occupy, be in TPS, and be on the river. That's a small buyer pool. No matter how much I love the home, it took 9 months. I think we made 18 grand before taxes the whole time. Like it was terrible. Same thing with Westmoreland. Like you
Oh,
come
yeah.
across this
Well,
beautiful, we called it the mini mansion.
That
Beautiful
neighborhood is
historic
incredible.
house.
So
It's
cool.
incredible.
Yeah.
But it was the first for us in that neighborhood. We do this very long renovation because it was a squatter house, which I'm sure you guys have done, where there's no utilities, there's no anything else. And again, you're into it for so much where nobody's going to want it as an Airbnb, nobody's going to be able to rent it. And so for us, it's just like we have to flip it. And then with that one, I'm still really upset about it. But with that one, we had an offer right away. But the appraisal came back, I think, $34,000 or $35,000 low.
Jesus.
And it was going to be a first-time buyer moving into the home with her kids.
They didn't have 35,000.
They didn't have 35,000, and I asked the appraiser, I'm like, hey, like there's good comps around here, and I shit you not, he said, you're too close to LMHA housing. I couldn't give
Which
you the
I have
value.
now found out is blatantly legal. I talked
You're
to an
too
attorney.
close,
blatantly-
and this appraiser was also a real estate agent.
yeah,
Okay.
horribly illegal.
So
Yes.
literally, like I felt bad. I'm like, they're emotionally invested in this house. This person has kids.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, okay, well, I'm going to put it back on the market because I know what the truth, that
Yeah,
another appraiser
I
might
could have got it.
find it different. We gave it to him anyways and made like 15,000 in 8 months on that flip, and that's
Yeah.
before you get hit with capital gains. And it's just like I should have sold 2 more houses, and that would have
$1,000 a
been.
month, yeah, it doesn't. not worth
It doesn't compute. So
But you mean you took the chance and learned from it?
yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I just had a realtor like 2 weeks ago text me and be like, "You want to do a flip in Westmoreland?" Nope.
And the historic
It has a
rules,
historic
yeah,
overlay.
that was-
Yeah.
So that's something we learned too, that we won't really do flips in historic areas where you have to go through a committee for every color, for every
And
window.
you had
Yeah.
to do that in Westmoreland.
Yes. So the 3 in Toledo, you guys, here's another tip that I don't think we've mentioned before. Our Old West End, Vistula, and Westmoreland. They all have a historic overlay that you have to basically go through additional hoops to make any exterior changes.
How long does that take? So like if you decide like Monday you want to paint the house pink.
Dude, they told us no. So
Oh,
like
they
in
said no.
Westmoreland, we had the junkiest, shittiest wood windows that you've ever seen. Half of them were busted out, blah, blah, blah. We go and we say, we're going to put in, this was
black.
like a really cool like stucco house. So we're like, we'll put in brown or black windows and stucco like a creamy
Vinyl.
white, and it's going to be beautiful. But they're going to be vinyl windows. And they said no. They said you have to keep those original 1917 windows or whatever and just fix the ropes and replace the glass. And so I literally wrote in the agent remarks like the windows, you are not allowed to replace them. And that to me was like,
Which is also crazy
Stupid.
because these are old houses that
It's not
literally have
energy
window
efficient
units
at all.
sticking out of like every window because
Yeah.
of they're not set up for AC. And they're like, that's fine, but replacing the windows is a no-no. It's
Yeah.
like,
So-
And most people are gonna want vinyl windows.
right.
right, it's energy
So we
efficient
didn't do
too.
it.
I mean,
yeah.
it's-
So we didn't do it. So it just had it was just like, hey, the windows are what it is because
Some of these rules don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Usually they don't.
No, yeah. So
my
I mean, they have a board that
Kinda-
probably hasn't updated the thing in
Yeah,
20 years.
right.
And they're just like they don't.
my
whatever.
college best friend lives in German Village in Columbus, and you should hear her
Stunning.
say everything that they're required to do. Like they literally, you can only pick from like one of 4 approved paint colors for certain things. Like you cannot deviate outside of the box at all. That's that much of a historic preservation committee. Yeah, it's crazy,
Pretty strict.
but
Stay away from historic area. I mean, our friend did basically a live-in flip in Old West End, and his house is stunning, and he's gone through it, but he lives there. Like his ultimate goal is not to flip it; it's like to
Yeah.
own it. So if you're gonna live there, I guess I get it a little bit, but flipping's about as quick as possible for the most amount of money. So if you have to go, and they met like once a month, so if you
Yeah.
wanted to make a change, you had to wait that month for them to approve it or not approve it, and if they didn't approve it, you had to come up with another idea that
Yeah.
waited another month.
So like in Mommy, which you guys know how I feel about Mommy, I'm sure you feel the same way.
We do.
We have a historic, or I guess it's called architectural overlay, which is from Ford to Key and the trail to the river. And so anything you do in there, you're supposed to get approval.
Mhm.
And there's a couple realtors that are on that mayor appointed committee. And I reached out to one about a house, I forget which house we were doing, but it was a couple years ago. And she's like, we haven't met since 2020. Like we literally haven't met. And so I was like, okay, I'll still play by the books for this. And so I dropped my paperwork off, my application, my paperwork, my colors, exactly what we were going to do, pictures, dropped it off, emailed it, left the person that's supposed to be in charge of it a message multiple times, kept records of everything. That was in January. And come July, when it was
We
finally
even sent a
able,
letter, like we mailed it to
yeah,
make it official.
when it was finally able to be worked on the
Yeah.
outside, because like basically I was like, well, what do you guys
7
want?
months.
Yeah, what do
Yeah.
you guys want us to do? And they said, well, if you're taking a white fence down and you're replacing it with another white fence, we have to approve it. Like even if it's the exact same thing. And I'm like, okay. Nobody ever responded. So finally July rolls around and
You're
it's
like,
good
I'm
enough
just
to
gonna
paint.
do it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it and ask
Yeah.
for forgiveness instead of permission because sure enough, we had an
They
argument.
showed up.
They showed up.
Oh
Like,
my
showed up,
gosh.
walked into our house.
Showed up, walked into
yeah.
our
That's that
house.
story.
Yeah.
Talk
And
about.
yes,
Yeah.
and I was like, here you go. Here's all the records. Here's all the different types of
It's
communication.
like we
You guys
emailed
never
you 100
responded.
times, and he goes, "Well, sometimes email goes to spam." I was like, "Does your voicemail go to
Go to
spam?
spam.
Does,
Literally,
Your certified
does-
mail?
Yeah.
does the post office go to spam?"
Yeah. Do you
we
see
send
us on your
everything.
camera dropping
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
off? And I'm like, and these are very minor. It was like
Yeah.
adding shutters and like painting a front door and putting a lattice skirt
Yeah.
around the porch. Like it was really, really stupid. Nothing ever came of it because
gosh.
I'm like, hey, here's your proof right
Yeah.
here. And then come to find out their committee hasn't met since 2020. So it's
Well, we know who's in charge of the committee.
You were
Yeah.
absolutely targeted.
Yeah.
yeah, oh for sure.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Well, hopefully things change in September. But, yeah, well,
I mean,
all you
the sad
agents
thing
out
is
there
you're
live
trying
in
to do
Maumee,
something
be a
great.
part of the
Correct.
change.
You're trying to do something great and make the community
Yeah.
and housing better.
No one's ever come back to us
And
and,
they
been
make
like,
it
"This
more
house is garbage." Like,
Yeah.
what'd you do? They're all like, "This was an amazing place.
It was
Thank
the
you."
fen-
Like,
it was
Yeah.
the fence.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, and I
it's
mean,
absurd. So
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, we've saw the stuff that you guys have done and have been, inspired ourselves about
yeah,
the
same.
work that you do.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that some cities are like that.
I
They make it
forget-
difficult to even do business.
We all like
feed off of each other, obviously, and she's on
Yeah.
Pinterest and freaking magazines all day looking at color schemes. But I'm
And
blown away
Florida-
by your team. Like that's what
Yeah,
I
that's
would like
amazing.
to be, and I don't love to know how you got there. Maybe it's not for this podcast because we're already at 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
But that's an amazing story, guys, to go from 2021 to this
Yeah, that is an amazing.
team. And like I really appreciate a lot of people at that level are stuck working in their business, and it makes it very hard to grow. But finding the right people underneath to help you get work to where you can work on your business and grow it, and taking that time away in Florida, wherever it is.
Yeah,
to
and you
like,
guys are young, so it's
to
like the
think
sky's
about
the
it,
limit
so.
for what you can do with it in the future, and maybe
See, I know it's a little stressful. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm sure every
Yeah,
day is
there's
stressful.
always
So-
something.
It is.
Yeah.
It's stressful, but
Just different
rewarding.
And I've been told before, like, don't show people that you're out of town. Always look like you're working. And it's like, I'm never gonna say no to a trip because I'm never disconnected. It's like, I will go someplace every month if I can, because it's just working from a different spot. It's not ever like I'm not getting the real estate phone calls. It's not,
No, I
I'm
mean,
just
you-
not gonna be physically present, but
Mhm.
it's never turned off.
We listened to the great podcast. I mentioned this, but it's the Millionaire Real Estate Agents, the KW thing. But anyone could listen to it and get advice from it, and many do. But this lady was in like North Carolina, killing it. But just her passion was to move to Jamaica and help with orphan kids. And essentially, she packed up, moved to Jamaica, figured out how many properties she needs to own in Jamaica to have her own lifestyle there, and just bit the bullet and did it, succeeded, and still manages a team out of
Yeah.
North Carolina with a group of leadership. And so she can do fantastic business in Jamaica, follow her passion, and have a successful team in North Carolina and kick butt there too. And
Yeah.
having that double income, like what an
That's a
amazing,
feat.
Yeah.
Real estate offers all kinds of opportunities, but
For
it
sure.
is you can do it from anywhere. It's just stressful as heck, you know.
You can, and
You
the
can never
technology
really
aspect,
shut it off.
the technology aspect doesn't let you be disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried last vacation because I'm in therapy, and they recommended that, she's like, because I come back from vacation and I'm like, I need a vacation for my vacation,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
And so
yeah.
she's like, well, that's because you're not actually
Yeah.
going on the vacation, like you're just working in a different location. And it's funny, but it's not, right? Like,
Yeah.
because we as humans, we need to disconnect, but it's just nearly impossible in this industry, and I'm worse
Yeah.
than he
It's
is,
hard
for
because
sure.
I feel like you're always putting out some type of a fire.
And when you're not,
So even if nothing's
Yeah.
going on, I'll be checking my phone from Florida or
To
from
make sure there
wherever.
is no
Yeah.
fire.
When's the shoe
Where's
gonna
the
drop?
fire?
When's the
Where's the
shoe
fire?
gonna drop? Or who's gonna text me and say, "Oh, I'm I'm ready to sell now," and you're like, "God damn it, I'll be back on Saturday," you know.
we went to Mexico for almost a week
And
for
it
a
was
wedding.
all realtors. It was
It was
making
all
me
realtors,
sweating.
so we're on
Yes,
the
it
same
was a
boat.
lot
But there
of
was the
realtors.
signal was atrocious. So you literally were forced to check out for almost a week, which was like best time ever. I
Yeah,
was
we
like,
went on
whatever thing is burning down when we get back, we'll deal with it. But like for now, I'm checked out. Like I'm gonna sit in this
Yeah.
pool with endless margaritas and enjoy what we're doing because there's nothing else I can do. Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah. Like it was every morning you still wake up, you're like waiting for stuff to load, but it would
Yeah.
take like a text
What
would take like
happened
10 minutes
overnight?
to load. We're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Even in the hotel or just outside?
Just everywhere. I think it was
Really?
we were out
They
of
didn't
the
have-
country in the hotel for
They
something.
didn't have good
Yeah.
Wi-Fi?
Well, and
It
like you
wasn't
couldn't
great,
use
but-
Netflix, you couldn't use other stuff. Like
Oh.
they had all these like blocks on stuff too, which was
you had to
weird.
spend
That's
time
a
with
good
each
spot in
other.
Mexico.
Oh, we had
Yeah.
a blast. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like all of the
What?
real estate agents like, well,
Yeah.
guess we're gonna talk to each other.
And we talked about real estate.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a great spot to go in Mexico.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Puerto
Oh,
Vallarta.
yeah.
It was
We love
Yeah.
a
Puerto
beautiful,
Vallarta.
beautiful
Oh, yeah.
area.
Yeah.
That's
Had you
fun.
guys ever been there before?
No,
No.
we've only Cancun area.
So
It's
we went
beautiful.
to Puerto Vallarta. So when the world was about to shut down, right?
Yeah.
We had this scheduled vacation, and everybody was like, "You guys are idiots. If you go, you can't go." I'm like, "Dude, we're going, right?"
Yeah.
Everything was good up until Wednesday, and then it got kind of weird. Like they started putting like plastic over
Yeah,
the food and
yeah.
the buffets and stuff. But we look back on it, and we were so glad that we went because nothing was the same after
For
that,
sure.
right? And I mean, we had people texting us like, "You're gonna be stuck there," and
Please,
Yeah.
please let me be.
Yeah.
stuck.
Like, I like it.
Stuck in paradise. Oh no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's so horrible.
But I mean, that's always a good question. Like, how can we disconnect? Because obviously, it's so hard.
That's
that's the reality.
great,
of the
another
business.
podcast. There's got to be like a real estate specific therapist out there who can just like say what you need to do. We got coaches here that will give us advice, but like a therapist because we are that for everyone, right? We're like the therapist, we're the agent, we're
Yeah.
the friend, we're practically family, but you know, even therapists need therapists, so it's like, who do you talk to?
I mean, I guess like, so when we went to Florida, I deleted my email app, which I still found a way to check it, you know, a couple
Yeah.
times a day, but it was better, right? Because I'm the same way. Like it's like every 5 minutes I'm
Yeah.
checking it.
Yeah.
It's like for what?
Yeah.
Right. So I guess I just kept telling myself like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Like most of my employees like have access to this
Yeah.
information one
Yeah.
way or another. Like they'll let me know if something.
That's why we do this podcast, really. It's like almost a full hour where you can't check your phone. It's like, and you
Yeah,
can vent.
true.
Everyone just comes in here and vents for like an hour.
But
Yeah.
so like, and now that you guys when you have kids, everything changes too. But I remember my mom saying, just me being so stressed, obviously, and them not really fully grasping everything that we were doing. And she's like, look, if your home is warm and your kids are healthy, like I get teary-eyed, if your kids are healthy and they're in their beds and they're tucked to sleep, then don't worry about anything else. And I still think about, like, I have to like force myself. I'm like, the kids are in bed, we have a house, it's warm, just stop worrying about all this other stuff and go the hell to sleep. You know what I mean? Or else it will not shut off.
Mhm.
It just won't.
It's very hard to shut it off. There's
Yeah.
just so much going on.
That's another level when you're working with your spouse too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I had another friend, a bunch of friends, but they're all like,
Also in a whole.
I was like, we wake up talking real estate, we go to bed talking real estate,
Yeah.
all throughout the day. And my friend was on a trip with me, and like Megan called me in the morning, we were talking at lunch, we talked, and at night we talked, and Chris was like, that's all you guys do?
But
You just talk about
It's
real
your
estate.
I
your
think
life.
it's
Yeah.
I think it's bad advice when they say like you have to figure out something, you know, else to talk about, or you know, whatever
Yeah.
they
Well,
say about
we
it.
both
It's like
love
that's
it, though.
that's what we
That's-
we
yeah.
love it.
As
Like
long-
we
yeah.
love talking about real estate. It's
Change our
I,
life.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely.
Sure.
I don't remember what we used to talk about before we did real
Yeah,
estate.
what
I
did
guess.
what did we have in
I don't
common
know.
with each other back in
Yeah.
2006?
We did though. So
Love for drinking. I mean,
Mexican food?
Yeah.
You like Mexican? Yeah, I like Mexican
love
food.
of partying.
Let's-
Do you want to
let's
live
get married.
together?
Yeah.
Do you want to be in a kickball league?
So literally now we've been talking for 48 minutes. I don't know if so. It goes by quick, like I said. Is there like, and like I always joke because I had to edit this thing, and every minute's more like 20 minutes. Is there one big tip, one piece of advice that you guys would give? Beside, like I honestly think since you're both in it, you both love it. That's like the big thing. That's key for anyone who's working
Yeah,
together.
for
But
sure.
is there something else that you think has changed the game for you that has allowed you to be this successful?
for me, you know, it goes back to buying that one property, right? When I first met him, I had no interest or desire or knew anything about real estate. I'd never read a book, listened to pot, nothing. And he said that he wanted to buy 100 rentals in 5 years. And
Yeah.
I told him he was bananas, like he
Yeah.
was nuts, right? And then here we are, you know, we accomplished that. And it's just, you know, you just have to do it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's in any aspect of, you know,
Yeah.
starting a business was terrifying. Having W-2 employees
Yeah.
is
we just
starting,
started
right?
that.
Like
Yeah,
we're
for sure.
responsible for other people's families,
Yeah.
right? Like everything that we've done has just, we haven't sat on the sidelines and said, you know, maybe we'll do it tomorrow, maybe we'll do it next year. Like it's just been, we've done it. We've made really quick decisions, calculated
Yeah.
decisions, right? But it's just what you have to do.
That's a
And so-
personality trait that you need. You need to be able to make a quick decision and not second guess it.
Yeah.
That is a huge tip. You have to have
yeah, you
that
can
trait.
do that later, right?
Yeah.
Learn from the mistake if there was one, but yeah.
Yeah.
can't-
And I always ask everybody, how many rentals do you guys own now? How many investment properties?
or how many doors?
How many doors?
It's 132.
Wow.
Nice. Awesome.
All in the Toledo area? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
That's
we're in
amazing.
Toledo. That's
Yeah.
where we're at.
Yep.
Potentially
Yes.
Florida in the future.
Yes.
That's the
Man, that would be so
That'd be
fun.
cool.
Their
wouldn't it?
insurance is too expensive to cash flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're down there, you want to be like near the coast, right? That's kind of the key.
Yeah.
Of course, I
exactly.
see the Airbnbs that are near the beach that might be 5 million, but they make 10,000 a week. So
Sure.
I mean, I don't know what the numbers look like, and obviously people go to parties, so they probably get a little more destroyed. But
Right.
you know, if it didn't work, there wouldn't be entire rows of Outer Banks properties
True.
that
Right.
are killing it. So
Yeah,
but-
that's true.
So what's your tip?
keep it simple. It's just showing up, being consistent,
Yeah.
Discipline, just showing up every day and not being afraid to make mistakes. I mean, it's cliche, but
Yeah.
learning from it,
Yeah.
pivoting quickly,
Yes, for sure.
figuring out, just
That's
trying
really
something, seeing if it works. If it, you
And
get that
pivoting,
feedback loop.
yeah.
The feedback will tell you if it's working or not. And if
For
it's
sure.
not working, then go back to the drawing board and make changes.
Yeah.
So it's leap, learn, and leverage is what we're going with.
Hey,
The
I like
three
that.
L's
Did
of
you make that
success
up?
just now? Looking at LPG, I just was like, oh, it goes with
Learn,
the
leverage,
yeah.
Lily pad.
Yeah.
I
All
love
right,
it.
51
Thanks,
minutes here, guys.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. For that, we'll say thanks for joining us for
Yes. Love
for-
of real estate.
oh, shit.
See you next time.
the love of real estate.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
having us.
you.
Yes.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.